All right, we're channeling our inner George Motz, and we are making some Oklahoma-style onion burgers. This is a beef chuck mix. You can get that at your grocery store. This is actually preformed patties that I just turned back into like ground beef, and I'm going to resize because they were massive. Easy way to do. The grocery store will usually have those like pre-made. We're looking for 3.5 ounces of meat. That's what I think makes a good size smash burger, or it's not really going to be a smash burger because I don't have the heavy metal utensils that you need for that. It's going to be pressed. It's going to fit also on a Martin's potato roll, and I find 3.5 ounces to be a good size for fitting on those rolls because they're kind of small. But I want to make 2 patties here. One onion that we'll get to it shortly is a fairly good sized onion. We'll cover about 2 of these burgers. We're also going to do this basically in real time. Some people have asked for that, and I thought a burger was a great way to demonstrate how actually quick and very little time consuming these are. This is going to take around 10 minutes total. I'll cut out very little of this, just some of the stuff that you really don't need to see. But always wash your hands after you're cooking with meat. 2 patties, 3.5 ounces. Here is a Spanish onion. You could use a yellow onion, a sweet onion. White onion's probably the least favorable, just taste-wise. This one had a little more green in the center than I want, so I'm going to trim around that. If that wasn't there, I would just straight up mandolin this onion as is to get really nice, round, thin pieces. That's what we're going to be going for. Basically translucent, see-through onion pieces that will cook down, crisp, melt away into just delicious onion topping. But I'm just going to cut that core out. Once you do that, I'm going to go ahead and mandolin these into a bowl. Be safe with your mandolin, as always. I don't use the guard on this first piece. Get that down to the lowest setting you have because you want these paper thin. That'll just make them crisp and be beautiful. And go ahead and do this whole onion. As I said, this one onion is going to basically cover the 2 burgers. So think accordingly. If you're making for a whole group of people, you maybe want to buy 2 or 3 onions, or just try to find larger onions in general. But this will be a very good amount for 2 burgers. That's right there, the texture you're looking for. Very nice, thin. Once you get those done, just kind of clean up your mess a bit. There's a lot of waste that goes into, cooking stuff like this that you just got leftovers. But we're going to also salt these, let them sit for, while I do the rest of this. Not a ton of time, but a little bit of their extra moisture will come out, which is good. I've also had the oven on, preheating at this point. Not the oven, the stovetop. But we're going to use Martin's potato rolls, as I mentioned, so just get those out because everything's going to start to come together really quickly at this point. So get those out, put them to the side, and just be ready. And now we're ready to basically start cooking these burgers. Just pop open those buns just so they're there, but your stovetop griddle is nice and hot right now. Just get out your mustard and your cheese. That's all you need right there. So just have everything ready, and now let's start to cook these burgers. Nice sizzle right when you put them down. That'll help smash them up, which is good. I'm going to get a good helping of these onions on the top. I'm going to add a little seasoning as well. I don't like pepper on my burgers. George Motz does not either. Funny fact. Onions I'm going to throw on the top now. As I press these down, I'm going to put more on the top because the pressing kind of pushes them off to the sides. I'm not great at that step. George is way better. Go see him at Hamburger America in New York City or watch any of his videos. You'll see how he does these. But I'm going to use that parchment paper and really put down some weight onto my spatula. Get these nice and flattened out. I like to kind of taper the edges so they get a little crispier as well. But see, that pushes all the onions to the side. So I'm going to throw those back on the top of the burger and then just add a few more. Repeat that whole step with that other meat patty and just try to make sure that they don't get stuck together. I made them a little close because I'm only using that nearest burner to me, so it's only about half of this griddle in good heat. But same with this one, throw those onions back on the top and just make sure you have enough covering all of them. That's, the full container basically there of onions. What you're going to start looking for now as they cook is some browning on the onions that are touching the griddle directly. You can see these are cooking real hot. You can see some of the onions around the outside are not browned yet, but you could tell how they're cooking, and just keep an eye on those. You really don't want anything burning. Burning would be a real waste of this. You're looking for crispy, a little bit of browning on the meat, but burning is just bad. Use this opportunity also to pop your cheese out and just have that ready. That way, as you flip these, you can get that cheese down nice and quickly. Not much else to say at this point, just cooking these burgers. This is why I normally cut this all out, but apparently people like it, so enjoy. If you notice them plumping up a little too much, you can try to re-flatten them a bit. They will have a tendency to plump and bulge in the middle, so just keep that kind of in mind as you're watching them. You can see those onions around the outside are starting to brown up real nice, and that's what you're looking for. The meat underneath right now is probably beautiful, Maillard reaction, so I'm going to go down and just try to make sure they're not sticking to the griddle. That way we can flip them easier. But just go in and just kind of ease them up a bit. You can see those onions now have turned a real nice brown around the outside, and that's exactly what you're looking for. So these are real close to flipping. Give them another 30 seconds or so, and they'll be very ready. What you're going to do when you flip is you're going to put the cheese on. Yep, here we go. Look at that. That's a beautiful underside. You can get more browned if you want. I don't think that's necessary. That's the color I'm looking for right there. But now, right as you flip these, throw that cheese on. You're going to let the underside of those onions going to really kind of grill. They're going to smoke. They're going to steam a bit. You're going to do everything you want from them. And then George style, we're going to put the buns on, and they're going to steam a little bit. He doesn't actually grill any of these buns. Clean up your workspace a little just so you have room to work when they're done. And now we're going to let this side go for, a minute or two. Not a ton. Your burger is mostly fully cooked already. I'm going for a nice, medium well. I don't want these fully cooked. I want some pink in the middle. Keep checking your buns to make sure that they've steamed. Once they're nice and soft, we're going to put just mustard. You can put whatever you want on them, but the traditional burger is mustard and pickle. I don't like the taste of the pickle, so I'm omitting that. You can add it in, use a nice dill, but I'm going to now just get that mustard on these burgers, and that's all you need to do. You can see those onions around the outside are nice and grilled. The ones on the underside are still going to be opaque, but they're going to be very soft and beautiful. At this point, I'll turn the heat off and just let them kind of sit and cook for another 30 seconds. Make sure they're also not sticking. And now at this point, just come in and pull these off. Be careful with them, kind of give them a little flip. You can see the onions are nice and brown. There's some that are translucent. There's a good variety of onion textures here, which is what I like about it. You're not looking for all straight brown. You got some that are a little more caramelized. You got others that are just kind of cooked fully, but translucent and not browned yet. Throw those buns on the top and you're done. That's it. Scrape up any of those extra onions that are a little more crispy. Throw those on. And that's just an absolutely beautiful burger. This came together in it's been 9 minutes. It's so quick. If you're doing these for more people, you can be doing them all at the same time also, so it doesn't really add time. Look at how beautiful that is. Got some extra onions here on the board, so we'll just throw those on. Look at how good of a bite that is. Only one way to find out, though, so let's dive into this. See those juices dripping out. Real good. See a little pink there, also nice and cooked. That one corner was a little more pink than the rest of the burger, but I'm totally fine with that. That's what I'm looking for. These are absolutely delicious.